What now? In this video, I'm going to be replacing a leaking power steering pressure line on this 2003 Chevrolet Trailblazer with a 4.2 liter 6-cylinder engine. Alright, so we've got a leaking power steering line. We've got quite a bit of fluid leaking out on the driver's side. Only been parked on the patio for about 3 minutes and it's already dripping onto the patio. There are a couple of power steering lines that run on top of this frame rail right here that go to the power steering rack. It's pretty rusty up there and I've got one or maybe both lines leaking. Okay, this is my parts blazer, and if you look underneath this radiator hose, we've got two hard lines running atop the frame rail. One goes down to the cooler, and one is the pressure line that goes from the power steering pump itself. Alright, here are the pressure lines that I've got off the parts Trailblazer over here. This is the line that goes into the power steering pumps. The high pressure line goes over the strut tower and down to the power steering rack. This other one is the cooler line that goes to the cooler. So these... I'm going to start going after these lines on my good Blazer, and what I'm going to do is take the Airbox and the windshield wiper fluid reservoir out of here. That way I can access the lines to my power steering pump a little easier. What I could do is drain all the fluid out, or take a turkey baster and suck all the fluid out of the reservoir. You can do it that way, or you can just put a catch pan underneath your fittings as you break them loose and just catch the fluid. I'm going to go after the lines for here, the bracket that's underneath the crank pulley, and then disconnect the cooler line, and hopefully we'll be able to get this out without too much trouble. Alright, I finally got this 10mm bolt out. I ended up using this small little wrench that I had. If you look underneath that crank right there, there's that bolt. I laid down on the ground. The front of the truck's that way. Got my hand on this side, put my wrench up here like this, and with my other hand I went underneath and grabbed it from this way. See my hand up here, and I was able to, putting my hand here and my hand on the other side, using this little wrench, I got that bolt out. Not the easiest, but hey, it's out. Alright, I'm going to disconnect the high pressure line from the power steering pump. Got this funnel, try to catch fluid that comes out of here in a bucket that's underneath the truck. So we got that loose. We've got the bracket loose underneath the crank. So moving on. Okay, we've got these cooler lines for the power steering pump. I'm going to undo this top rubber hose. This lower hose goes back to the power steering pump. This one goes to the steering rack. Alright, so I got the hose off. I took a little finagling. The clamp wasn't really oriented to where I could grab it real well. So after a frustrating few minutes, I finally got it off. So I believe we're ready to go after the brackets on the frame and on the strut tower. Alright, here are the two lines underneath the driver's side front fender well. There are two 10mm bolts that hook these lines to the frame. I just took my pliers and just peeled back these pieces of the clamp that are holding the lines down. This is where the leak was. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these bolts out. They're both really rusted. I may just end up bending these brackets back and just pulling them out like that. They do have these rubber grommets that go around the piping so that they don't rub and wear a hole through them. Obviously that's not the problem, it's the rust that causes the holes. Right. Up top we've got this big bracket right here with two curved pieces of metal that are over this rubber bushing. I'm going to pry these back and I'm going to loosen a lot of these clamps here for the wiring harnesses. That way when it comes time to pull those hoses out or to reinstall them, these wires can be pushed out of the way so I can have some more room. Alright, on this bracket that holds these two lines to the frame underneath this crank pulley, there are two metal tabs that you have to use a screwdriver and pry those off of that bracket. It's basically a sandwich with two little tabs flipped over each end to keep it secure. So you gotta get these pried back with a screwdriver, and then that comes off. Okay, I've got my wrench on the 8mm bolt that's on the steering rack, bolted into a bracket that has the two lines going into the steering rack. I broke it loose with this wrench, and I'm probably going to use an open-end wrench. With my hand in there and just slowly getting that out, because I can't really quite turn my wrench with this boot being in the way. And I got the 8mm bolt out. Now I'm going to use the screwdriver and pull the lines out of the steering box. I've got a catch pan underneath the vehicle to catch the fluid that's going to come out. Alright, I've got the lines broken off of the steering rack. Fluid is dripping out into my catch pan. I think everything's loose on this now, so I should be able to pull these lines out. Okay, I finally got the old lines out. This is the line that goes to the cooler, and that's the one that had the rust hole in it. I just took a pair of tin snips and just clipped it, and I was able to get that one out pretty easy. This next one, pressure line that goes to the power steering pump itself, I ended up just cutting it, and there you go. So there, two of them are out. Alright, so this is the line for the cooler. So our rust problem areas are right here and right here on both lines. Just going to take some sandpaper and lightly sand. Alright, I found this Rust-Oleum paint that stops rust. I'm going to go ahead and just use this. Okay, so I've got them painted, and I put some electrical tape on the problem areas where they tend to rust. Hopefully that'll keep any of the, the rubbing from the vibration of the vehicle, or keep moisture out. I don't know, just a shot. But we're going to put this longer one in first because it sits on the inside. This shorter one sits on the outside. I took the long rubber hose end, snaked it right underneath this part, and then fished it down below that frame rail there and got it to where it's sitting up right here now. So that's basically laying where it's supposed to. Now we're going to have to get that hard metal line over the top of the strut tower. So this bolt right here that's in the way, that is a 13mm bolt that's right here. I'm going to go ahead and take that out, that way I can have that clearance. Because I took the bolts out of this upper control arm, these 21mm bolts, I pulled those out and set the control arm down. That gave me room right here to be able to get my line over the top. So another thing that I did was I took a crowbar and just peeled back this inner fender this way, and then I stuck my line down underneath here and then worked this line over the top of the strut tower. I got the hose in down over there, and then I just slipped it over the top of that and it went right in. Actually was not expecting it to go that quickly. I thought I was going to have to fight that thing, but taking the bolts out of the upper control arm just made this go so much easier than I anticipated. Okay, this is my cooler line. This is that rubber hose, so we're going to snake that underneath the other gray line. So now it's about where it's supposed to be. Snake this over the top of the strut tower. Just need to finagle it just a little bit. I'll go ahead and send that hose down there. Okay. Alright, so they're both over the top of the strut tower. Man, taking those 21mm bolts out of this upper control arm and then flaring these inner fender wells back a little bit made that go on a whole lot easier than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be in for a long fight. Okay, I finally got the lines into the power steering rack. It took absolutely forever to get them to line up properly. There are seals in there. You gotta make sure those are in there right. And for some reason, the lines were kind of bound up a little bit up there, and I just couldn't push them in to the two holes straight. So it took me forever. But praise the Lord, they're in. Now it's time to secure the hose to the cooler line and route the line to the power steering pump, and then we should be wrapping this up. Alright, I got the 10mm bolt back in, just laid on my back and reached my hand up there, basically one-handed, put that bolt back in. Alright, everything is back together. I got the 5/8 nut on the power steering line hooked back in, got a new O-ring on it, so that line is buttoned up. I've got that 10mm bolt underneath the crank tightened down with that line. The cooler line is put back underneath the radiator. Got all these lines back to where they were supposed to go. Power steering rack is all hooked back in. Went ahead and clamped down all these wires back to where they were. Alright, I'm going to top off the power steering fluid. Okay, I'm going to get the tire back on, put the truck down on the ground, and fire her up. Now that I've topped it off with some power steering fluid, what I'm going to do is start the vehicle, turn the steering wheel from left to right, going all the way to the bump, going back and forth a couple times. Hopefully the whine should subside. I'll check the fluid level again and continue to go side to side with the steering until this thing quits whining like my kids. Alright, so what that's doing is bleeding the system. It's getting rid of the air out of the system. So if I pop that cap off the power steering, it should have like a whoosh of air, and hopefully there's bubbles in there, meaning that the air is escaping from the emptied lines. There's just a little bit of air coming out of there. So I'll check the level, I'll refill, and I'll just do this over and over until it stops whining. Alright, so you notice that when I was bleeding this system, I popped the cap and there was hardly any pressure in it. There was virtually no bubbles. Well, I continued to work the wheels back and forth. I got some bubbles come out, but it really didn't bubble that much. Didn't seem like there was a whole lot of air coming out of the system. I introduced a lot of air to the system, and for a long time my power steering continued to whine. I get all the way to the end of the bump, taking a sharp turn in a parking lot or something, and it would just really moan and groan. So I thought maybe I had something going on with my pump, and I put some Lucas Oil power steering additive, and it got rid of some of the whine, but it was still pretty significant. Well, fast forward a few weeks, and I had a major leak coming from just above the power steering rack itself. And what happened was the return line, the line that goes back to this cooler right here, the rubber hose that's on that hard line that goes into the power steering rack, that rubber hose blew off. It's just held on by a compression clamp, so whatever the obstruction may have been to keep this thing from really bleeding out, blew the line off of there, and there was power steering everywhere. It essentially emptied the whole system. So let me show you the clamp that I put on it. I actually put two of them on there. Right there you can see I've got a new silver clamp on that hose right there. I've actually got two of them on there, so hopefully that hose isn't going anywhere. So once I got that all back in, whatever obstruction or air bubble that was in there that kept that from really truly bleeding, it was fixed. So I went ahead and filled this back up with fluid, turned the engine on, ran the wheels back and forth. When I popped that cap off, it blew power steering foam everywhere. Foamed like a root beer. It was just a lot of air came out here. And ever since I've done that and bled the system, it has not whined one bit, so we're good to go. But that's how you replace the power steering lines on a 2003 Chevrolet Trailblazer. Hopefully you found this video helpful. The only major big tip I can give you if you're having to tackle this job yourself is removing those upper control arm bolts. move that control arm out of the way, bend the inner fender up just a little bit to give you some room to reinstall the new lines if you're replacing the lines. For some reason I couldn't get the two lines to go back into the steering rack. They just didn't seem like they wanted to line up right, so I would kind of wiggle the whole line, jiggle it and everything, but it took me close to an hour just to get those two lines back in. Go figure. I don't know why that wouldn't go back in very easily. Quite frustrating. So anyway, be prepared if you're doing a job like this to spend a little bit more time than you anticipate, unless you can get an extra set of hands to help you. I've seen where people have cut out the rusted spots and put in some compression lines and splice in a new line. That's totally cool. I'd be interested to see if those compression fittings hold up over time. I don't know. Anyway, I decided to go just replacing the whole line instead of doing a splice, just because I have this parts blazer and I'm just going to be pulling parts off of this as I need them. So I didn't really have to spend any money. So anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. God bless.